Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I'm Dwyer, and I just read me some Advent of the Apocalypse, as you can see here, a lit RPG adventure by twin authors, apparently, V.A. Lewis and D. Pidge. Who's that? Actually, I didn't know that before I started recording. Who's D. Pidge? Have I read anything that they've done? No, just this one, it looks like. Not sure who that is. All right, that's a new one to me, but apparently it's a twin book release. Cool. Now, before I go any further, I do want to head over to V.A. Lewis's lovely little title section here right now and say definitively one of my favorite lit RPGs of all time is Curious Beginnings with this adorable little demon. Good old Salvos series, book 1. I haven't read up to 12 yet. I think I'm at 10, but I've read it, I've reread it, I reread it after I've reread it. One of my favorites, because it's a strong lit RPG. It's got some humor into it. It's not forced. I just like the story. I like the character. I like the story. I think it's fantastic, which makes V.A. Lewis pop onto my radar anytime I see their name come up. Fast forward to Advent of the Apocalypse, it came out, and I'm like, okay, let's go and see if I'm going to like this one as well. There is a thing I will say immediately in the blurb. I always take these things with a grain of salt because these are the things that the author writes on their book page and not some independent review panel that decides, oh, yes, okay, we read this one, and I think that, yes, it checks these boxes, so if you liked this, you'll probably like this, and then they'll put it in, right? It's not that. So I always take this with a grain of salt. That said, if you like Primal Hunter, you probably will like this, and that is not a glowing recommendation in my opinion, and here's why. Much of this is the main character, as we've, can kind of see, no other people around, right? No other people around. Yep, I don't see another one. No one there. So, main character, good old Jaco, or Jacko, I don't know, is there by himself after an apocalypse. Okay, great. A lot of stories like that. How does this one be unique? Where are we going from here? Right away, made some interesting and somewhat smart decisions. There's a big honking fireball coming towards you. Dives in some water. Tiny spoiler, sorry about that. After that, there are some things coming towards him. So he notices a place he can go. He gets there to defend himself against the things. Okay, that was smart too. I like where we're headed. It looks like we're in for a little bit of a smart story. Not all of it made sense. Like the fireball thing warmed up the water he jumped into to give him second-degree burns with his eyes open. I'm not a doctor, but I'm assuming water that can give you second-degree burns, having your eyes open would be really, really, really bad. Like, insanely bad. But maybe I'm wrong about that one. So, a few weird things, but sure, whatever. No problem, as they say. Then we have the blurb here. Steps on the numbers go up gas and doesn't let up for anything. 5-star reader review. Also 100% true. 100% true. In the time, God, what was it, 20%? First 20% of the story-ish, he's already like the top 0.1% of the survivors in terms of strength because his numbers go up really, really fast. No real meaningful setbacks. A month kind of yada yadas by and he's as strong as he is because the author clearly wants to make this a really, really strong character immediately. And unfortunately, I kind of think if the author wanted to do that, they should have chopped off the first 20% of the story. Like, honestly, drop him in and then give us contextual clues based on what happens as to how he got there. I think that probably would have been a better idea. Because the first 20% of the book, it doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, he jumps in some water. And then we kind of yada, yada, yada to him being very, very strong. One of humanity's, top fighters at that point. But we didn't really learn a lot through that. He doesn't really have to like strive to overcome anything. There's no real setbacks. There's no other character interaction. So it kind of felt like that part of the story wasn't really needed. And now this part of the story is where things are really starting to take place. And that 20% is essentially where he starts meeting other people. I like that. This is where it got the kind of make it or break it point for me, and why I don't recommend the book. Because opening chapter 2, interesting. Then we have a lot of yada, yada, yada. I'm killing everything. Look, I'm getting stronger. Aren't I amazing kind of chapters here? And then we have other people. This was going to always determine whether I stayed on with the book or not, or if I was going to drop it. Because what happens with a lot of these types of stories, if you've read them or listened to them, you know. You can already answer the question, can't you? How are the other people going to react to them? In cheap, one-dimensional stories, it's always one of two ways. Either they're going to be kind of evil mustache twirling types, right? And be like, I don't know about this guy. Let's murder him for no reason. Or they're going to be over the moon and totally Team MC. Like there's no ambiguity, there's no nuance, there's no subtlety. It's either they're going to be in one camp or the other. And that's just not how people interact with each other ever. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. In this one, Team MC, all the way. There's a couple of passages, lip service to be like, ooh, I don't know if we should trust this guy. But yeah, everyone's like hanging on his every word, being amazed at how strong he is. Pretty sure we're introduced to the love interest immediately as well. And she's like, oh boy. And that was a letdown. Because the minute they did that, I was like, okay, if these are going to be like one-dimensional cartoon characters, where's the mustache twirling villains? They're going to be there. Come on, where are they? Honestly, I just kept reading until they inevitably showed up because I knew it was going to happen. Obviously, there are the demons, and 65% in where I finally dropped the book because I DNF'd it. I have no intention of continuing. Like, yeah, they're probably evil and whatever, but they're demons, so who cares? There's gonna be someone else, though. And sure enough, yeah, there's a bunch of humans who are killing women and children for, skill ups. Total mustache twirling evil. Knew it was gonna happen. It's like, come on. You're gonna be there, and it's just gonna be to train the main character to get stronger or like rally something to go against a demon or something like that. Like everything just immediately got very, very predictable and one-dimensional. And so I opted out of it. It's unfortunate. With Salvos, it was a bit different because you had an actual demon trying to live in the human lands because, you were yeeted there against your will. Okay, interesting. You find people who are like, oh no, demon, stab, stab, stab. And you have people who are like, maybe it's okay. But you're never really 100% sure how people are going to react to someone because that's how people usually react to each other. They're not always like, oh my God, I love this person. I want to know more. Can I be in your fan club? Or I don't like you. I'm going to kill you and all your friends and your family and your pets and, blah, 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 blah. There's much more nuance into human interaction. And you found that in Salvos. Maybe accidentally, but he found it in Salvos. Fantastic. I liked it. Good world, good interactions, believable. Still love V.A. Lewis because they wrote that series. This one, I don't see anything very interesting here. It seems to be just trying to hit the Primal Hunter hype train. We primarily have an MC, primarily going to be on their own, just shadowboxing things that come up. There's no real sense of tension. They can pretty much go wherever they want, do wherever they want, find everything they want, because that's also a thing. He winds up eventually finding this mystical health potion that regenerates itself or whatever. And then he needs to find a way to hide, so he mystically finds this other super secret magical thing to conceal him. And it's just like, I don't care about... Yeah, I don't care. I just don't care. So wish fulfillment, he has a super rare class. Wish fulfillment, he gets to kill everything around him and get super strong. Wish fulfillment, the first group of people he finds, they're like gaga over him. Wish fulfillment, he encounters a bunch of people who are still low level than him, but they're the evil big bads, but he gets away. So whatever. Wish fulfillment, he then finds everything he needs to keep, hammering at the strength that he needs to kill the evil big bads. And it's just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. It's only $3.99 though, so that's kind of good. If it was like $10, I'd be like, oh God, no way, don't do it. $4 book, maybe, sure, I guess. I don't know. I'll let you be the decider on that. Suffice to say, Advent of the Apocalypse, if you like series where, MCs don't need no one and always get what they want, then yeah, sure, this is probably for you. If you're not into that, then stay away. I thought maybe we were going into an interesting kind of thing because he was going to be like a druid. And in my head, I'm thinking D&D, I'm thinking Baldur's Gate. He's probably going to have to, do things with plants or whatever, listen to nature, something, And instead, one of his super secret abilities that he gets is to breathe fire. Because that's a thing, I guess. Like druids always do. Ah, well. Either way, that's my review for this book. On to the next.